Good morning, everyone. This is Tractor Man 44, and we're ready to put some wires on the trailer. So my son's off today. I've taken the opportunity to nab him, have him come over and help me put the old trailer in the shed. Now you can tell by the dead leaves laying around that this was recorded earlier in the early winter, late fall last year, and today is just a nasty, miserable, wet day. And it's about 30 degrees outside, and tonight they're calling for it to get down around 12 or 13 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're trying to get it in the shed. The idea being that while we can get it in the shed while the weather's all nasty, get it all prepared for a nicer day throughout the winter or early spring. So I had to come clean and let you know that this is definitely an older video. Just have not gotten around to getting everything edited. You'll probably have to finagle around. It's a little long coupled to get in there for the first shot. I have too much stuff over here to the left. The old forklift, that old Alice Chalmers. There's a 371 Detroit two-stroke diesel sitting in there. There's a 120-year-old lathe from Chicopee, Massachusetts in there. There's old John Deere. A couple old Massey Harrises. Good stuff. He's got a Dodge. Looks like he's lining up pretty good. We'll have to shift it back and forth just a little bit. Oh, he's got a better eye than I got. He missed it by about a ½ inch. I couldn't see it from this angle. It's kind of nice to have a heavy equipment operator for a son, Of course, you can't consider this Kubota heavy equipment by any means. Well, we're inside the door. That's a whole lot better working on it in here than it is out there on a day like today. Well, at least we're nice and dry in the shed. It's still a little chilly in here, I already had the heat going. But I got the sun underneath there doing a little bit of welding, finishing up some of the blobs I put under there the other day. And I'm going about the business of installing clearance lights and some of the wiring. This is some really old cutting oil. An old buddy of mine passed away here a year or so ago, and I ended up with some of his stuff. But it's an old brand I've never heard of, Osborne. But it's a foam cutting oil. It sticks to the bit really pretty well. As you can see, we just dropped out a slug. You can tell a 1/4-inch plate. Well, I just noticed my son jumping around down there. I think he's got a little fire going inside his shirt. My son hot-footing it around trying to get out from underneath the trailer a little while ago. Take a look. This is what some sparks do going down your chest. So yeah, he had a good time getting out from under there. Just barely missed his phone. There was his phone right there. Had been kind of nice if that would have landed right on the camera lens. Catastrophe averted. Essentially, we're going to have power come into the electric brakes. It's going to land on this terminal right here and pick up the wires to go back to the 2 sets of brakes, one on each of the axle, and then come back to this right here, which in turn goes back up to your battery 12-volt ground. And then the next terminal is going to be your tail lights, which is the brown wire. That's the typical color code. And then after the brown wire is going to be your right turn signal, which is going to be green. The left turn and the right turn filament that's in the actual lights themselves are the same filament that energizes whenever you hit your brakes. And so through the yellow and the green wire, whenever your foot pedal is depressed, it's going to go ahead and energize the brake lights off of those 2 terminals. But then whenever your foot's not on the brake, the left turn signal will energize the yellow one, and then the right turn signal will do the green one. And when you put your foot on the brake, of course, and you've got the left turn signal on, it works just like it should. Or the right one if your blinker's in the right position. It might be a little confusing, but once you wire a couple of them, it kind of becomes second nature. It's not a whole lot to them. You have a small battery that applies the brakes in the event your trailer breaks away from the truck, and the little battery on board will energize the brakes and bring the trailer to a halt. So the wiring is done as far as we can get until we put the bed on. We're ready to pull it back out of the shed, get my old truck back in. Hope he doesn't scratch my little Ford. Of course, we don't care if he scratches this John Deere over here too much. It's about 13 degrees this morning. We're going to park it under the overhang and come back to it on a nicer day. And the nicer days just a week or two away. Got the wheels and tires mounted on the axle, getting ready to mount the springs. But you know, you got a pretty nasty looking bunch of rust and everything like that. So a quick trip into the buffing wheel changes a set of U-bolts that looks like that pretty rapidly into a set of U-bolts that look like this right here. Now, no job is complete when you're working with this stuff without utilizing anti-seize. Now, of course, you can't read that label. It's kind of old. It's almost as old as I am. I think my uncle brought that home from World War II. But at any rate, that's what we're getting ready to do, is go ahead and mount those springs to the axle. And of course, like I said, it's a drop axle, so it's upside down right here. So I've got these in the upside down position. When we roll it over, everything will be properly aligned and ready to mount on the trailer. I don't know if you know it or not, but these nuts are all marked. There's a right way and a wrong way to install those nuts on these shackle bolts. There's little indentions on the portion of the nut that goes to the outside, and that's because it's kind of a tapered lock. You really have to run those in order to get those to latch down. We decided to go for the son-in-law's bigger tractor, the 3301. We also went ahead and put our 4 straps just to make sure it doesn't slip on the bed of the trailer en route. Now, one of the coolest things about having this overhead hoist set up like we've got here, by the way, it's all built out of scrap stuff, but you know, is this right here. You can just pick this trailer up, pull out from underneath it. I got a wiglet right here. It's kind of stuck on them 6x6s. I should have raised it about 2 inches higher. But you pull right out from underneath there, and you're going to see in a minute, we're going to back that new redesigned frame right back up underneath there. We're going to slowly and carefully just kind of back it right into place, and then just gently set that box right back down on that new frame. Can you go lower the front now?
You want to lower the front?
Yep. Okay, come on back. There's a little tension on that one, ain't there?
Yeah.
Down. Hold it. Hold it. All in all, so far, we are very, very pleased with the project. Well, obviously my son stopped by today. You know, it's Sunday. We got a pretty good showing, you know, got everything put all back together, got all the pins in. We got everything completely in and done with the exception of wiring everything. And we've got a couple of new lights that we're going to want to put on. Other than that, everything's looking real good and we're just happy as can be. We can't wait to get on, get a hook behind truck and go down the highway and see how it tracks. Wiring is the very next thing, and new hydraulic hoses on the hydraulic cylinder. Fill it up with hydraulic fluid, put the battery back in, and we're going to run with it. So, you know what? This has been a good little project, and this is TrackMan 44, and I am out of here. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to sincerely try to wrap this up on the very next video.